What's up, guys? Back AG Sports. It's about midway through the season, so it feels like a lot of people are either up or down with gambling. Obviously, right? You're either winning or losing, and at this time of the year, people are starting to reflect. And if they're winning, they're like, let me take some money out. Let me, I'm gonna pay some credit cards off. We'll pay for some Christmas presents, whatever, right? Or if you're losing, you're like, I'm not gonna put any money back in. Let me wait till the playoffs. Let me wait a few weeks. I'm gonna start watching basketball. Maybe I'll do some horse racing, whatever. So I wanted to just give you guys a little bit of encouragement and something that I listen to every time I kind of doubt myself here.
Oh Lord, what should I do?
Keep gaming.
What?
It means gambling. Keep gambling.
Oh,
Truer words have never been said. Keep gambling, everybody. So, on that note, let's take a look at a few things, guys. I don't really have, I guess I do have more plays that I personally have put out there. Some of them were in the comments before, so if you read through the comments here, you might have gotten a nice little pick from me. If not, it's probably a little bit too late. But let's just go ahead and start with that. I had the Chiefs-Packers under 55. I actually took that, I want to say, Tuesday? And probably just a little bit after the video came out. And I also had the Raiders minus 2.5 against the Giants. Same thing, I had mentioned that one in the video on Tuesday, and I actually did put it out on Twitter. But, again, it wasn't in the video because I hadn't finished the workup on the game just yet, and I kind of wanted to see where everything was going. Now, that line for both of those has been really weird the entire week. The Chiefs and Packers, that one is a lot more explainable. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers goes out, and the line totally shifts. So I got the under 55, and I had mentioned, I think I was talking to Kevin in the comments, and Kevin is usually really insightful with his picks and what he's got going on and what he's looking at. So thanks, appreciate the comments, I really do. As far as the under 55, though, as soon as Aaron Rodgers got announced as out, that line dropped all the way down. Well, it actually opened at 50 when they put it back on the board, and it just kept getting dropped down. It's currently at 48. I think we're probably going to see about another point come off of this. I really think that this is probably going to end at about under 47. If you didn't already grab the 55, if you weren't reading the comments, and I don't blame you, I don't know if I would really want to touch this one. If you wanted to tease it and you're teasing it with another one, maybe, depending on how you feel about teasing totals. But I really like the under 55, obviously. As far as the line movement is concerned, it was a really nice pick, and the line movement is going with me. A lot of closing line value. We have 7 points of closing line value, and it's not even Friday yet, so that's always good. As far as the Raiders-Giants, this one was weird because this has just gone through all sorts of shit. The Raiders started off as 3.5 point favorites, depending on your book. Then it got bet down to 2.5, and it had actually gotten taken off the board, and I really couldn't tell why. And then it came out that the Giants had COVID issues, and like 13 guys tested positive for COVID. So they actually took the number off. The following day, I think that was Wednesday, they said, bunch of false positives. Only one person actually remained positive after the second round of testing, and that was like some coach, and not like a head coach, some positional coach. And that was it. Everybody else was cleared. Everybody else is good to go, and they should be practicing again today, actually. Now, in between all of that, you also had Henry Ruggs get into his accident. He had killed a woman and her dog, and I'm sure everybody's heard about that. I'm sorry for that family. Prayers to you guys. I know football's probably the last thing that he is worried about, Henry Ruggs, and I don't blame him, man. That's some serious time he's looking at, and hopefully he saves some money, because I don't think he's going to be in the NFL ever again, which is sad, man, because he's a young kid. Anyways, I don't want to go down that path. So because of all that, the line came off the board, on the board, off the board, on the board. It was at 2.5. It went down to 2, came back up to 3, 2.5, 3. Right now, it currently sits at 3. I got involved probably Tuesday afternoon, and the Raiders were at minus 2.5. When I took the minus 2.5, it was at minus 108. I'm sorry. Yes, it was at minus 108. So it is still minus 108, but it has gone up a half point, so it's now Raiders minus 3. This game, I totally understand if you don't want to get involved with it. It really depends on how you think these teams are going to react. Are the Giants going to be okay? They've missed effectively like a day and a half of practice, and probably 2 days really, because they're only going to have like a half day to walk through today. And I think they're even like missing some players just that haven't finished their second round of testing yet, whatever the hell they're going on. So do you think the Giants are maybe going to have that issue? Secondly, the Giants also have a bye week next week. So they've had a really weird like week as far as practicing and trying to get the work in. You also have a losing team that's already looking forward to the bye week. So that's one of those like kind of last week of school things. You know what I mean? Like, are you really working as hard as you should be? Are they really paying attention to everything? And on top of all that, they're dealing with the COVID mess. So maybe they just have a flat game. Yes, they kind of competed with the Chiefs, but they only put up 17 points, or was it 14? Something really low against the Chiefs and their terrible defense. They're going to be playing the Raiders this week. Now, the Raiders have their own mental stuff to overcome. Obviously, they responded well when Gruden got fired, or when he stepped down or whatever. But with Ruggs, that guy was seemingly like their friends, and he was very close with a lot of guys on this team. How are they going to react? Are they going to still have a good game? Is it even going to matter? They do have Zay Jones, who should be kind of replacing that Henry Ruggs role. Very similar player, maybe not as talented, but very similar in play style. I think the Raiders will do just fine. I think the Raiders come out, they win this game. The Giants probably have a flat game. For all intents and purposes, they're basically out of the division. It's coming down to like the Eagles and the Cowboys, and that's not even really close. That being said, though, laying the Raiders -3, I still like it at the 3. I'm not taking it over 3. So if it goes back down to -2.5, obviously feel free to smash that. At the -3, I still like it. Just don't go any higher than that. And even if this one gets juiced up, I would probably think twice about jumping onto it. If it gets over like -120, I'm probably staying away from it at that point. But for right now, it's still a good pick. Next, I just want to go over some of the other picks that we had previously. This is the Patriots and the Panthers. I had it under 41. The algorithm or the estimates here still have it as a relatively close game, even with everything updated, all the grading and stuff updated. It comes out to, I'm going to round up and say it comes out to 44. Well, with 44 here, some things are not taken into account. One, the Panthers seem to be most likely playing P.J. Walker this week. Yes, they are getting Christian McCaffrey back, which should help them. But the Patriots have a really good defense. They're going to not have to worry too much about P.J. Walker. I mean, yes, he's a talented guy, but he's, again, for all intent and purposes, he is a rookie this year. He's going to be playing against Bill Belichick. We know the Belichick versus rookie rule. Patriots should just smash this team. And even with Christian McCaffrey coming back, hopefully he is 100% for fantasy players and just, to watch the guy. He's just a fun, talented guy to watch. I don't think he can beat the Patriots by himself. Yes, he's amazing, and yes, I've seen him do crazy damage to teams as just a one-man show. And the Patriots, I think, are just too talented for that, defensively, coaching-wise, all that kind of stuff. They're not going to let him come off his injury and come in here and just destroy the team. And the Patriots have just kind of been on an uptick. So the two picks we had on this one were the Patriots -3, which I still really like. And I still project the Patriots to win by at least 4 points. Again, if we round this up, it would be 24-20. I still like the under, though, because I do expect that the Panthers are probably going to be scoring a little bit less. If anything, they're going to be on the downside of their spectrum or of their bell curve there. So, again, 1 touchdown is a standard deviation. So if we bring that down, you're looking at either 13 or 14 points for the Panthers and probably still like 24-21 for the Patriots. I really expect this to be, again, down at least to 3 points, if not more. So you're probably looking at about 38, 39 point total. 41 at the very most, a push at the most for us here, as long as everything goes the way we're expecting and there's no like short field turnovers and stuff like that. And I don't project this game to be a lot of turnovers. It's probably going to be a lot of short drives that end up in punts or a lot of settling for field goals. One or the other. Either way, I really like both of the plays still, which is the Patriots -3 and the under 41. One play that I have not laid any money on yet was the Dolphins first quarter. Now, this is going to be different, and I think someone had pointed this out earlier, because Tyrod is scheduled to come back this week. He should be playing again. Now, how effective is he? How much does the team really care? And how well are the rest of those players playing? Tyrod played amazing that week 1. Keep in mind, he played the Jaguars, literally the absolute worst defense in the NFL. So that was probably a part of it. They also played against a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback. So let's not get too swayed by that one performance with Tyrod Taylor, because we have a lot of years prior to that watching him come out and be very conservative, and he likes to run and not pass. And so I'm not taking that one game and saying, oh my God, he's going to come back here and he's going to reinvigorate this offense. The second part of that, though, is a lot of people say, yeah, look how great he did against the Browns, though, in his second game. And that was a game I think he played like a half on before he pulled the hamstring or whatever, and he was been out. That's, again, true. And that is probably more indicative. That's probably the bigger fear here, is that we get Tyrod that is going to play that effectively. I have not gone back and watched that game again just yet, or at least in that first half yet. But I am very, I'll say tempted to say, and I'm just, forget tempted, I'm just going to say it. I believe that the Texans were really feeling themselves and a lot more interested in playing football come week 2 than they are now in week 9. It's a narrative. There's not a number that goes along with that. It's not an algorithm thing for that one. But you got to think, they win week 1 when everybody thinks that they're underdogs. Come out week 2, they're trying to win. They think they have a chance against that Browns team and that defense. And since then, they have traded players away, let players go. They've had a lot of stuff coming out of the locker room saying that just players don't really care anymore. They're not really feeling it anymore. I don't think Tyrod changes that. I don't think Tyrod comes in and says, yeah, guys, jump on my back. We're going to start winning games. I really think this team has thrown in the towel, not just from the player perspective, and maybe not even so much just from the coaching perspective, but from like the upper management. I'm talking about like your GM, even maybe like the owner. Those guys are looking towards next year. They're trying to prepare for next year, for the draft, for different picks. They're not worried about, week 9. They probably couldn't give a shit less about week 9. So I like the Dolphins here, specifically the Dolphins in the first quarter. The Dolphins for the full game, 7's probably a little bit too much. I think it's down to 6 now. I still don't really want to lay that with Tua, especially because Tyrod could have some sort of impact there. But I think that first quarter is probably still your better play. Tyrod has a better chance of putting up points, but the team, just the play calling is not very aggressive, and they don't really take any chances in trying to score until the absolute end of the game when they have to. So for that reason, I would still be looking at the Dolphins first quarter, but it's really going to depend on what the line comes out at. I'm not laying 2.5 or 3 or 3.5 with this Dolphins team for their first quarter, but I may be looking to lay 1 or even take a money line. Aside from that, there's also the Bengals game this week. The Bengals, minus 2.5 at the Browns. Now this one is a little bit more tempting because of the Browns consistently playing down the last few weeks, and I think we went over this before, but their estimate is 20 points. I'm probably seeing more like 13. Because we went over that one already before, I'm just going to move on. We're going to go to the Rams-Titans. I did take this at the Rams minus 7. That's still the pick. One thing I wanted to update you on this one is the coaching algorithm. It does have the Rams only winning by 6 points, where the Madden algorithm has them winning by 14. And again, we're kind of somewhat in the middle, at least with the 7. Now, what I will say, though, is again, this Titans grade here does not account for the loss of Derrick Henry. And while running backs are usually not worth a whole lot, again, it's something I did touch on previously, Derrick Henry was the identity of that team. And I could see them having some struggles early on, needing to adapt to a different play style, using different plays from their playbook, different things that they maybe have not had to practice that much until this upcoming week, and kind of knowing when and where to pull those plays out of. Plus, they're playing against the Rams. The Rams should have an amazing offensive day against this weak-ass Titans secondary and just total defense. And I think that's going to put more pressure on the Titans to try to keep up and not be able to just run the ball and at least, kind of give them that grace period, because if they were playing a team like, I don't know, let's say the Jaguars, and the Titans had that first half to kind of get settled in and see how their plays are going and what's going on and not really be out of the game at any point, this is a totally different story than playing against the Rams, where you could be down 21 points by halftime and they're dictating the speed now. For that reason, I still believe the Rams still cover at the 7. I cannot talk right now. I would not lay the 8 points that is out there right now, which is the current spread. But if it ever comes back down to 7, I definitely would. Or if you want to tease it down, I would do that as well, because I do see the Rams getting at least a 7-point win. That's really it as far as the current plays that are out there. The 2 plays that I have added were the Chiefs-Packers under 55, which I'm sorry, guys, it's not really on the table anymore unless you're going to tease it. And then the Raiders minus 2.5 versus the Giants. If you wanted to buy it down to the 2.5, I wouldn't. I would probably just go ahead and still lay the 3 points as it is right now. I do want to go over the line moves, though, because there have been some pretty decent line moves all across the place. Obviously, the Packers-Chiefs is the biggest one. Oh, wow, actually... Oh, no, it's wrong game, sorry. It's at 48 still, so 7 points down from where I got it at. Dolphins-Texans under 47. That's one of the first plays of the week. That has also come down. And let me just verify. Yep. It is down to 46. It had actually gotten down to 45.5 just right before taping this. So Tyrod being added did pop this up a half a point. The Tyrod addition, again with this under, can be a little worrisome because it does seem to lend itself to at least one extra score with the Texans. Right now we had them projected for 10. Let's say they get to 17 to 24. It's still a 41-point game, so I still like the under in this because, again, I don't believe that Texans team is gonna rally the troops for Tyrod Taylor the way they would have if they were like a 4-4 team. Next, though, Rams -7. Again, that moved to -8. Patriots -3. So we did grab the Patriots -3 earlier in the week. So we have the Patriots now at -3.5, and it's at -103. So actually, prior to me filming this, it was still at Patriots -3, but it had jumped up to Patriots -3 with some juice, and it was juiced up to like -125. So they have actually just added on the extra half point, so it's now Patriots -3 in the hook, -103. At this point, I would buy that hook to bring it down. I'm not really sure why this line has moved, though. The only thing I can think of is because Sam Darnold is he hasn't been announced out, but they are saying that he is going to most likely, be out because of the injury he suffered or the concussion he suffered. That's the only thing I could think of that would maybe be hindering this. One other play, and I'm actually just looking at this right now, is this minus or under 21 is probably what I would like to get it at. You know what? I'm going to do it. So yeah, I had to pause the video for a second. I grabbed that play. Damn, it's already going over. So under 21, guys, grab it. I'm sorry. I know by the time you see this video, it's probably going to be juiced up even more than this. But the under 21 is a play here that I'm really liking at this point. I'm sorry. I'm not sure. I guess this one just got posted, so everyone's hitting it right now. But the under 21 is still a good play. If you might have to buy it up at this point, guys. I'm sorry. You saw me just grab it at the -121. It's already been juiced up to the -146. But look into it, or maybe even just take the 20.5. But I would really take that 21 because you're going to need that little bit of a hook in the event we have the extra touchdown. So that's another play that I'm adding to the line here. But again, I'm sorry. I wish there was a faster way to get these out to you guys. But just, again, be on the lookout for it. Panthers under 21 for the first half. Adding that one to the board. Now, as far as other line moves, the Chargers money line, that has also moved a little bit. Another line that's been kind of weird because it started off at, I think, -3 or -3.5. It got bet down really quickly with a lot of sharp money coming in on the Eagles. If you're looking for the sharp square divide here, the Eagles have really been the sharp side here. I don't see it, though. I'm looking at all the numbers, and I do not understand why they're laying so much with the Eagles, or why they're trying to, I guess, respect the Eagles as much as they are. Yes, they had a good showing last week. Yes, they beat the Lions, which, okay, you beat the Lions. But More importantly, they ran the ball finally. They ran the ball at a very high clip, way higher than they had any week prior. If that is a change they are looking to commit to, then it's a worry, because then, yes, they could beat the Chargers if they are running the ball like that. The Chargers, as you know, have been really weak against the run. They're actually the absolute worst team at defending the run. A few things I would like to say on that, though, and the reason I took the Chargers money line. One, the Chargers just played the Patriots, who have a very effective run game, especially when Damian Harris is running at 100%. The Patriots really, it took them the full game and a last-minute interception to win that game. The Eagles are not as well coached. They don't have the same pieces that the Patriots have, so I'm giving the Chargers the edge in that sense. Aside from that, the Eagles also do not have the same horses as far as running backs are concerned. Boston Scott is fine, but he was not the starter for a reason. Miles Sanders was. Miles Sanders really wasn't putting up anything, so trying other guys. Yes, he got hurt, obviously, but even when he was in there, they were kind of resistant to the idea of running, and I'm not sure why, but it leads me to believe that they didn't have a lot of faith in this running back room, even when Miles Sanders was healthy. Boston Scott did fine last week. Again, they're playing the Lions. The rest of the team, Jordan Howard, we have seen for several years, is not an amazing running back. He's good in short yardage and goal line stuff, and that's absolutely fine, but you're looking for explosive plays when you play this Chargers team. When you have guys like Ezekiel Elliott, Nick Chubb, just trying to think of others that have gone crazy on this Chargers team, Damian Harris for one of them, it's because these guys are capable of making these huge explosive plays over and over and over again, and they can drive down the field really quickly with that type of offense. Damn, if you're watching the screen, the Patriots-Panthers just got bet down more for the full game. But with this Eagles team, I don't think they're going to have that kind of success against the Chargers. Secondly, the Eagles' defense, it's been okay, but if the Chargers can get out to a lead, they're going to give the Eagles a lot of issues because they will not be able to run the whole time, especially if they're not having big explosive runs. The Eagles' defense is meant to stop big explosive plays and kind of give you the underneath stuff, which usually works against teams like the Chiefs and the Cowboys and other teams who want to go deep if they can and then have to kind of adjust to the short stuff. The Chargers are looking short. The Chargers aren't even really trying to go deep for the most part. They want Keenan Allen to be involved with the really short routes. They want Austin Eckler on little dump-offs. The only time they really go deep is with Mike Williams, and they'll give him a shot on a one-on-one. But the Chargers are going to have the exact game plan that gives the Eagles issues as far as defensively. And if the Chargers get out to a lead, especially if it's like 10-0, 14-0, 14-3, the Eagles are going to feel pressed to pass the ball. And as soon as they get out of that run game, it leads itself to the Chargers winning this game. And so I didn't want to lay the 3 with the Chargers to begin with. But now that this line is way down, it's half of what it used to be, I still like the money line a lot here. It's at minus 128 right now. It's a little bit lower, actually, than what I got it at. It was at 138 when I grabbed the money line. So if you haven't already done it, grab that Chargers money line as soon as you can. And the only other one that has seen some pretty decent line movement as far as the games that we've already played is the Cowboys-Broncos. We grabbed this when it was at minus 9.5. It had gotten bet up to minus 10.5 and even minus 11 in some spots. It has come back down. The Broncos have taken some money, especially because CeeDee Lamb apparently suffered a sprained ankle in practice yesterday. So they're losing some value there. But again, we teased it down. So we teased it down from the 9.5 to the 3. As long as CeeDee Lamb is capable of playing, and I think he will be, I think they're gonna give him the meds, they're gonna give him the rehab, they're gonna give him whatever he needs to get on this field on Sunday, and he has the full weekend because they are going to be playing in Dallas, so they're going to still be rehabbing that thing all day Saturday and Sunday morning. I think he'll be ready to go. Now, he probably won't be 100%, but he's going to be good enough to get on that field and do the work he needs to do. Amari Cooper, again, also not 100%, but he should be fine. He should be good to go. Michael Gallup should be back for this game. You still have guys like Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz that are going to give you issues as far as matchups, especially with no Von Miller. They don't really have a good answer for either of those tight ends. And then, of course, you still have Zeke. And if Dak is capable of moving at all, you still have to worry about him running out of the pocket. I don't think you're going to see a lot of that because he is still kind of coming off that calf injury, but it is a threat that they need to be aware of, at least for the beginning of the game, until they can identify, yeah, this guy is not going to move. Maybe that calf is still bothering him. Or if he does start moving on that thing early, he might have some early yardage that looks really good and kind of throw that defense off a little bit more. So I still like the Cowboys -3. By no means am I laying double digits with the Cowboys in this game. Broncos are a competent team. The defense is not good, but their offense is surprisingly not as bad as you may think it is, especially when you have guys like Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams who can both do work. You still got Jerry Jeudy back. Cortland Sutton is still, an above-average receiver. You have talent on that field, and the Broncos are going to play relatively slow with Teddy Bridgewater. So I don't like laying 10 points in a game where I could definitely see the under hitting, and it ends up being like a 44 point total. So those are the line moves, guys. Again, those are the new plays. Now, if there is a game that you specifically want to go over, let me know, because I've been kind of handicapping all of these this week. I've had enough time. The algorithm is finally at a spot where it's really just plug and play. So it doesn't take me like a full day to do all the numbers anymore. It takes me maybe like an hour or two to kind of get everything updated, and then it'll take me like 20 minutes to an hour to really get into individual games. But if there's a game that you're curious on, something that maybe you're thinking of putting a teaser on, or something you're just kind of interested in, let me know. Put in the comments below. I'll put it in the next video. Happy to do it. Secondly, guys, there is a prop that I'm looking at, and I have not put anything out there yet because it is not, the lines just aren't out yet as far as the one I'm particularly looking at. So two of them really. In tonight's game, which is the Jets-Colts, I'm not laying 10.5 with the Colts. I know we have it on our teaser. We have it at the Colts -4.5. That's fine. I still really like that. I'm not laying double digits with this Colts and Carson Wentz. But as far as props are concerned, I would really look at Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown, or Jonathan Taylor 2 touchdowns. Either one, Jonathan Taylor, first touchdown. Basically, whatever is going to give you the best odds. I've been looking at it. I've been waiting for it. I have not seen that prop come out just yet. But I really, really like the play. The Jets have been really weak against running backs as far as in the red zone the entire season, and I don't see that changing tonight. Secondly, though, I am really looking at Stephon Diggs against the Jaguars this week. The Jaguars have just gotten torched every week, and I went back and I watched film on them. I've watched like the last 3 or 4 games. I believe Shaq Griffin was hurt or missed a game or two, something like that. And his backup was just getting lit the hell up by everybody. Last week they played Seahawks. DK Metcalf was open on literally every single pass attempt. Now, they didn't always go to him, and yardage-wise, he only had like 46 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns. And realistically, I think Tyler Lockett was maybe chirping at the coach or whoever, and so they're giving him some more passes. But DK Metcalf could have had whatever the hell he wanted to have in that game against that weak-ass secondary. Go back and watch the film. Even just watch the highlights. He's open on like every single play. Before that, they actually played the Dolphins a few weeks ago, and the Dolphins didn't have Devontae Parker. They didn't have Will Fuller. They had Jalen Waddle in the slot, and what's his? Honestly, I don't even remember the guy's name. He used to play with the Eagles. Blanking right now. Anyways, they had like a 3rd, 4th string guy as their number 1 wide receiver, and he was just torching them too. It seemed like every single play, either he was immediately open on a slant route, or he would just get lost in coverage, or he was open, like wide open on a short little curl route. Just Haskins, that's his name. He was just open every single play. Again, they didn't go to him every single time. Obviously, Waddle actually had a pretty decent game that day. But Tua was finding Waddle, Tua was finding Haskins, and again, it was just another time where Haskins could have had whatever he possibly wanted in that game. They just didn't look at him enough. Now, I do believe Shaq Griffin is playing in this game, but the rest of that secondary is just so weak that unless they specifically say, look, you're going to shadow coverage Stephon Diggs everywhere on this field, which I don't think they're going to do, Stephon Diggs is going to eat. Stephon Diggs finally going to have a huge blow-up game this year. Josh Allen's going to find his dude, and Stephon Diggs is going to do, again, whatever the hell he wants to do. And it's about time. I think he's probably, being the squeaky wheel in practice. He's about to get greased. That guy's going to have a great game. So whether you're playing in fantasy, whether you're looking at props, I would heavily be looking at Stephon Diggs. Again, the props have not come out for that game yet. They probably won't come out until like Saturday or maybe even Sunday morning in some spots. So I can't really tell you what to play with that, whether it's the yards or touchdown, receptions, whatever. But just keep that in mind. And when those lines come out, see what you feel comfortable with. If by some chance there is, numbers out tomorrow on it, I'll go more in depth on it. But those are the two I'm really looking at. And I'll put it out on Twitter as far as the Jonathan Taylor play tonight once I get that play in. Lastly, guys, and this is non-NFL again, and I apologize. I know some of you probably just want to hear NFL. But if you are wagering on the NBA, tonight, again, the Lakers' first quarter is another really strong play. Now, with basketball, because I'm not watching it as closely and intently, I'm really just watching one team, which is the Lakers. I don't do a full unit on any of these plays. I would tell you maybe like a quarter unit, a half unit at the very most. But the Lakers' first quarter, minus the 4.5, seems like a lot, especially for one particular quarter. But the Lakers they put out all their stars in the first quarter, and they have been playing okay defense, at least for the first quarter. With Carmelo Anthony out there, you're never going to have shutdown defense. But they've been playing pretty decently. They've been hitting some threes lately. They've been really getting in rhythm. Now, the last game, they did lose the first quarter. And again, I know usually this is where I would tell you it's like a bounce back spot. They lost last night or the 2 nights ago. Usually they'll come back with a pretty good effort the next game, especially in that first quarter. Secondly, the Thunder won the first quarter the last time they played, and they are usually not a first quarter team. I think they've only won the first quarter like 3 times this year, and one of them was the last game they played. So usually we're looking for the bounce back on that end as well. Everything's setting up really well for this Lakers first quarter. Again, I'm probably just going to do like a quarter of a unit on it, but something I want to put out there for you guys in case you want to tail that. In case there's any interest in NBA out there, give it a shot. See what you're looking like on it. Especially if you have any bonuses out there. Got to get those rollovers in. So, thanks again, guys. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you follow me on some of these picks. Sorry about the Panthers. Hopefully you can find that somewhere at the under 21 for the first half before the line gets too crazy. Thanks again. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.